This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the DAZN. Eddie, wow, how would you unpack everything from that main event tonight, inside and outside the ring as well?
I mean, just non-stop action, even going back before the bell. But what a performance from Galal Yafai. I mean, I just said they're red hot but ice cold. I've never seen such a composed, stone cold killer performance. He weren't even breathing. I didn't even see him, 6 rounds of relentless pressure. It was just a brilliant performance, and someone that has got so much potential, someone that's just getting started in the professional ranks, and felt for Sonny, but you saw the changing of the guard tonight. That's what you saw, and Galal Yafai is a world champion in the waiting.
Yeah, obviously on the broadcast, and the clip was kind of doing the rounds majorly on Twitter. Sonny says to Chris in the corner, "If I'm being honest with you, I don't really want to be here." Yeah. Like a mental block, maybe. I mean, he retired afterwards. So
I mean, he got pummeled for the first round, second round, third round, and obviously we didn't know anything about what he said after, which was this is going to be his last fight. He's not mentioned that to anyone, and I guess when you've got that in your mind and you're just getting pummeled with relentless pressure, mentally it's very difficult to say, I just don't want to. I'm not sure I want to carry on, And I think that. He showed a lot of heart by staying in there, and I think the trainer done a good job because he did another 3 or 4 rounds at that point of holding his feet and trying to get into the fight. But every time he tried, Galal would throw another 20 punches. Every time the referee broke them, Galal would be back on him, angles, body shots, head. It's like it was just relentless, and he just beat the fight out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny Edwards' mantra and the way he's got his success was by moving his feet, being slick, boxing off the back foot. We didn't see any of that.
Yeah, but that's probably a difference between, number one, maybe not having the feet as quick as they used to be, and number two, the ability of Galal Yafai to close the ring off and apply that pressure. And he did that so well. And, Jesse Rodriguez did that well, but it took him a few more rounds to do it. Galal did it in 30 seconds, and just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Galal hasn't really been the one to do much talking in the build-up, but when you look at the reception he got, the tickets sold, the performance, is he on the cusp, or if not just about to hit that sort of superstar stage?
Because he's a flyweight, sometimes it's more difficult. We need to understand and respect that he won Olympic gold. So this guy's won Olympic gold for Britain. He's now the WBC interim champion in 9 fights. He's just beat Sonny Edwards. He's an outstanding talent, one of the best in the world, and he's got a huge future ahead of him.
Yeah. Taraji next?
I think so. I mean, he's got to beat Rosales, but that's going to be. There's a lot of flyweight action in Japan. It's going to be hard to get those guys over here, but we're going to have to try and do it. And I was looking at that fight after about 4 rounds, thinking, my God, Bam and Galal is just going to be the most breathtaking fight in a year's time or whatever it'll be. And Galal's got a huge future ahead of him.
I know you'd be confident in Galal, but ideally, would you want the Japanese champions to come here, or would you be open to moving and going out to Japan?
It's difficult to go to Japan. I mean, these are very good fighters. It's difficult to go there and get a decision, but you've got to do what you've got to do. And obviously the plan, Birmingham's getting bigger and bigger for us. Great crowd tonight, great card, and hopefully we can bring the World Championship fights to Birmingham.
Yeah, just finally on the main event, Sonny announcing his retirement at 28. Started with MTK, Frank Warren, yourself, very outspoken at times, been in brilliant fights. A short career in a sense in comparison to many, but a very fun career.
Also, I love it when a fighter just shows that kind of honesty and says, I'm done. It's not a game you want to stay in when you're not really hungry anymore and you haven't really got that kind of desire. And I think to do that with that kind of honesty is really refreshing, because maybe you go on and have 1 or 2 more, and but he's just, no, that's me. And it's a good way to bow out. He's had some massive fights with us. He's made a lot of money. And I'm sure he'll have a job on the commentary because he's very good. And I thought he spoke fantastically well in the ring after.
Yeah. Well, technically now he's not a matchroom fighter, I guess, from announcing his retirement. You can be honest, was he easy to work with?
Yeah, because he wanted the big fights. He wanted the big fights, he wanted the big money, and we delivered them for him.
Yeah. Gwynne against Vuong. I think what we saw from the reception that Cameron Vuong got in his post-fight interview, you even said in the ring, I thought Gavin nicked the fight. Your kind of take on those 10 rounds?
Close fight. But I said to Cameron in the ring, I've got to be honest with you, I thought Gavin Gwynne won a close fight. There's no point. You've got to be honest with these young fighters. And by the way, he deserves so much credit because maybe that fight came too early for him, but him and Sam and Jamie, they wanted to move quickly. And maybe it was a little bit too quick. But it wasn't like, I didn't feel like it was a robbery. I just thought Gavin Gwynne won 6-4. And, you know, like the Madrimov fight and like the Bivol fight, it's like, how can all three judges have it that way? I mean, 97-93 is a really bad card for Cameron Vuong. Like, all right, 96, like, when I got in the ring, I thought, we could get a draw here. And that would, you know, squeeze out a draw. But unanimous to Cameron Vuong, in my opinion, no. But I want to give him the credit and I want to say we'll run the fight back. And whether it's the next one or the one after, it'll be one of those two. And he has to run it back because people will talk about it for a long time. And he'll learn so much from that, and he's an outstanding fighter. And it, you know, you learn so much from 10 rounds like that, and he'll be back and he'll be much better next time.
Yeah. In terms of Cameron Vuong, I guess it'll be tough for him too. I remember Campbell Hatton when he got that victory on the AJ Usyk card, and a victory he probably shouldn't have got. And he got quite a lot of hate chucked his way. Cameron Vuong will probably get quite a few, I'm going to say, tasty messages online.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a close fight. There's no doubt about it, but I think that...
But none of this is Cameron Vuong's fault.
No, of course not.
But he will be taking a bit
But
of heat.
also, look, I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I think he won 9. 10 was quite close. I think there was another round he won. Like, when it's 6-4, like, it's not like, oh my God, like, but I just felt he got outworked. And not through aggression, through punches landed, but he won rounds and it was a very competitive fight. It was a good fight.
Conor Walker, Lewis Richardson didn't quite catch fire like we wanted. The last 3 rounds were really entertaining, but a win for Conor.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great kid. I think he was a little bit flat tonight. He kind of said that. And I think he needs that fight where he's really up against it to see the best of him. But good performance from Kieran Conway, Hamza Uddin. I mean, Aaron Bowen fight was probably the best fight I've ever seen on Before the Bell. Taylor Bevan was sensational. Really liked that pro debut from him tonight. Great wins for Ibrahim. Good fight for the English title as well. And Callum Smith got him out there, got some good rounds and moves on to a big fight.
Yeah. Just one final one from me. I know we spoke earlier very briefly after the 5K about the Boots Ortiz situation. I was picking up when I watched the footage back. You said about the potential of Boots having to vacate.
Yeah.
But obviously he fought DAZN in Philly, which was his IBF mandatory. What would be the situation of why Boots
would
would
he be moving
to
up to
vacate?
fight for the WBC world title? So, you know, you can't do that without just speaking to the IBF, getting full clearance from them. This is not about, once he moves to 54, he's never coming back. Right? You can't, as a fighter, when you're thinking about moving, you make the move, you never come back. The problem is that we have here, and it's like, I don't know, people talking about like this has been this deep negotiation for ages. About 2 days ago, maybe 3 days, we received a letter to say these are the terms to fight Virgil Ortiz at £147, blah, blah, blah. We talked about it. Then they come back and said, sorry, it's not £147, it's at 154. I said, okay, well, we don't know if we're moving to 154. We haven't made a decision yet. And then they move very quick. So His Excellency will come back to me and say, right, we need to know, is he moving up in weight? And then Jaron Ennis is like, oh, shit, like it's Thanksgiving. I don't know. I don't know if I'm moving to 54. Well, you've got to make a decision. I don't know.
Was you not a bit shocked when you thought the fight could be at 147? Because Virgil, he's had to kill himself realistically.
Yeah, but that's the letter that we had. Maybe Virgil wanted to fight for the world title. But we went back and we checked it, and no, they spoke to Golden Boy, said no, it's at 154. I said, okay, well, we've got to make a decision. Not just if we fight Virgil Ortiz, if we move to 54, we're fighting Virgil Ortiz, no doubt about it. But, you know, the problem is when we've got to make a decision within 24 hours on Thanksgiving, do you know what I mean? It's like, and he just doesn't know if he's going to move up. That's all. So you're going to see, whatever he does, he's going to be in a massive fight next. But we'll see if that turns out to be Virgil Ortiz. Probably in the next, I mean, I've been on the phone all night. Not just about that, but about Shakur, Callum Smith, everybody on, you know, who could be fighting on that card. So watch this space in the next 48 hours.